welcome back to your welcome. Per usual, I'm so excited to be here, and happy Halloween to those who celebrate. I am dressed as a lazy Halloweener. I'm not someone who tends to go all out for Halloween. I always plan to, and then I never do. So maybe next year will be the year I finally commit to a costume and actually follow through, because normally I bail on any plans that happen today, but I am gonna go to my friend's Halloween girls night, so that'll be a little fun. And I decided to dress as the mom from Mean Girls because I already had this pink velour sweatsuit, and I thought, why not? It's actually really comfy. It's from Calvin Klein. It was a gift, and I literally only wear it in the house, so this will be my first time even wearing it out, but it worked perfectly for a Mean Girls I'm a cool mom theme, so we're just gonna go with that. Anyhow, on the topic of Halloween, I wanted to talk about something that is truly spooky for us ladies, and not just for us ladies. Obviously, this can pertain to men as well, because no one is exempt from this, and this is how to deal with being ghosted. Now, how I came up with that idea, because originally I was going to, my other lazy outfit was going to be being Carrie Bradshaw on, I think it was season 6, episode 7, when Berger broke up with her via post-it note. I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me. The infamous post-it note breakup. And although he didn't necessarily ghost her, I do count this as ghosting, because he showed up to her apartment, said how much that he really cared about her, wanted to make the relationship work, brought her flowers, and then the next morning she wakes up to this lame post-it note, which I think is the worst way to end something with someone. But at the end of the day, we all know it was clear that Carrie wasn't the problem. Berger was a problem in this scenario. He was intimidated by her success, and that is what really led to him having a struggle with his pride and his ego with a woman and her book selling out more than his. But needless to say, that's a whole nother topic. Let's get into how to deal with being ghosted. I have 4 tips for you all, because obviously no one is exempt from being ghosted. I have been ghosted. I'm sure you have been ghosted. Everyone has had a moment where they really thought they liked someone, and then they just poof, never heard from them again. And it's honestly at first really hard to deal with, because it makes you feel all the things that isn't necessarily positive about yourself. But again, this channel and this podcast are all about self-concept and self-love and doing the inner work to feel like our best and most confident selves, and that we can have anything in this world. And this is all about that too, because ghosting has nothing to do with you, it has everything to do with the other person. So I just want to talk about some tips to get through that little hump of the emotions that you feel when it does happen, if it does happen, and how to bounce back faster and feeling even more confident in yourself. Okay, tip number 1 is remembering that no one can determine your worth but you. And a famous quote that I love, that I still remember, from Princess Diaries. If anyone remembers when Mia Thermopolis changed her hair from curly to straight because she was a princess, and she was already feeling so overwhelmed about it, and then her best friend gave her the hardest time about her changing and why do you look like that and yada yada yada. And remember, she was crying, and the driver noticed that she was crying, and when she got out the car, he reminded her that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And that is a famous Eleanor Roosevelt quote that I have lived by since I was in high school. And of course, when you're working on your inner concept or your self-concept, it's really hard to grasp that people don't set your worth, that you set your worth by how you show up in the world, by how you talk about yourself, by how you walk, by how you present yourself. These are the things that can, make people think one way or not about you. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It matters what you think about yourself. It matters how you feel about yourself. And no one can make up a value of you unless you allow them to. No one in this world can tell you that you are less than if you believe that you are the best thing out there. And obviously with that, you aren't going to be everyone's cup of tea, and you shouldn't be. Not everyone is going to see your value or know your worth. Not everyone is going to believe in you, and that's okay. And in those scenarios, instead of telling yourself, oh, well, maybe they're right, it's important to remember, no, the right people are going to see me. The right people are going to value me. The right people are going to show up in my life and resemble and mirror how I show up for myself. And the more work that you do on yourself, the less that you are going to face the constant battle of dealing with people and meeting people who don't see your worth. I like to think of it as an antique, right? Because not everyone knows what antiques are of high value or not. And that doesn't mean anything about that said item. So I like to think of it as you walk in a thrift store and everyone is passing by this antique because no one knows its worth. Everyone is just like, oh, that ugly thing, whatever, whatever. But the right person is gonna know exactly how much it's worth. The right person is gonna see it and be so excited because they've been waiting to stumble upon that item. They've been waiting to see that item in the store. They've been waiting to get a hold of it. And they're so excited and they're so happy and they're just gonna treasure it for the rest of their life. That's how I like to see myself. I am a treasure that not everyone is going to understand. It's remembering that you are the main character of your life and they are the main characters of their life. And just because they don't see your worth doesn't mean that you aren't worthy. That just means, again, that they have overlooked it, and let them overlook it. Because one day, baby, they're going to regret it. They're going to be like, oh, wow, I didn't know that it was worth that much. Just like those antiques that you might see on eBay or any of those trunk shows. And you're like, oh my gosh, I never knew that that was worth that much, when it's worth so much. Fast fashion fades. Things that people see as beautiful, worthy, they fade. But the antiques, they never go out of style. If anything, the value just keeps increasing on them. Be an antique over being a fast fashion girl. Okay, tip number 2 is being real with yourself. Being real with yourself about how you feel about it, being real with yourself about what it's bringing up, what triggers are coming up surrounding it, and assessing your need to be loved. And I don't mean this in a sense of, oh, you're not worthy of being loved, or, you know, being loved isn't something that is important, but needing versus wanting and becoming are 3 different things. You can want something, you can need something, and you can know that you are something, right? So if I know that I am love, I'm not seeking outside validation from any other man, any other person for that matter. And when you have this need to force things to, I have to be loved, this obsession with it, all you're going to do is attract the wrong things. And not only are you going to attract the wrong things, but you're going to continue to be in this lack mindset. And being in a lack mindset in anything, when it comes to finances, when it comes to love, when it comes to anything, is not great. It just means not that you aren't worthy, because again, you're always worthy, but it just means that you might have some more work to do. And for me, I lived in lack for so long, in different ways, when it came to finances, when it came to the people in my life, when it came to the men in my life and the people I was choosing. But when I decided to take a step back this year from dating and just focus on myself and not, you know, put myself out there at all when it came to dating, I've learned that I am love. Again, that because I am becoming more and more of who I am, I'm loving myself through every step of the way, that it's only going to mirror back to me people who truly, again, value me and can love me the way that I deserve to be loved, because I am love, because I love myself. And not only in ghosting scenarios, but with men who I've dated, I really had to take a step back and say, do I actually like him? Do I actually like him, or do I like the way that I feel when I'm with him? Do I like who I am when I'm with this person? Do I like seeing a reflection of myself? Like, am I carrying this? Like, what do I actually like about him? And if you can make a note on your phone of what you like about that person, pros and cons, and the cons outweigh the pros, it's definitely time to take a step back. And not only that, but if someone can ghost you, go missing, no communication, why would you want that person? Like, really asking yourself, why do I want to be with someone who clearly is not ready for someone like me, who can easily distance himself, walk away with no communication? What kind of precedent does that set? And even if that person comes back and they're like, you know, they apologize, what does that say about your future? Is this person an avoidant and just gonna do it again? Like, what action steps have they taken that show you that they're worthy of your trust, worthy of being in your life? Because again, me coming from someone who has an anxious, or did have an anxious, ambivalent attachment style, being with people who are easy to walk away, easy to distance themselves, punish you in the way of not communicating with you is a big red flag, and it's a big no-no. So again, even outside of the ghosting scenario, even with people that it doesn't work out with, or maybe let's say you've been on a date with someone 1 or 2 times or 3 times, I don't know, and you're trying to assess if this person is worthy of being in your life. Really think about it. Do I really like this person? I love making a list. I highly recommend it. And journaling to really assess how you feel, how it made you feel, what triggers are coming up again, like what story is replaying in your brain. And a lot of times that's coming from something in your childhood or even in your early adulthood. Like I've had to realize like, oh wow, this makes me feel XYZ because of XYZ that happened when I was 7 years old or when I was 10 and a guy told me blah, 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 blah. Like you really have to do a deep dive. And that doesn't mean that you have to do it alone. If you have a therapist, highly recommend. If you don't have a therapist, talking to a friend about it. I don't really recommend talking to ChatGPT because it's AI. I think that AI is great for some things, but not to get advice. So in a case like this, watch this YouTube video. I have other videos, especially my anxious attachment avoidant style videos will be so helpful for you. Get some help, do some inner work when it comes to reflecting on it, and I promise you your relationships moving forward, or the people that you even give a chance to, will get better. Okay, number 3, and this is by far my favorite, is getting obsessed with you. I cannot stress enough how important it is, especially for women, to be obsessed with yourself. And I feel like a lot of times when people hear, oh, be obsessed with yourself, that means that you're walking around acting like your stuff don't stink, that you are the best thing out there and everyone else is lesser than you, that you're a queen and they're a pauper. And that's not what that means at all. It just means that you are so in love with yourself. You are so in love with your life. You have such a high confidence in yourself that things like this don't faze you. And because you are so obsessed with yourself, you're so obsessed with your life, you don't even have the time to really be bogged down and burdened by this, because you have other things to do. You have a Pilates class to go to. You have a book that you're reading and you've got to read that next juicy chapter. I mean, I'm reading The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. She's got enough going on when it comes to men. I don't have time to be ruminating over anyone. You've got goals to reach. You've got the gym to go to. You've got a new meal to make. You decided you want to bake some sugar cookies and you found a new recipe. You have friends to go to dinners with and have drinks with and kiki about these men who aren't worthy of your time. You have things to do, sweetie. And one of those things is not by focusing on that man, by ruminating on it. Y'all, this sounds so crazy, but in the past, I would obsess over something for maybe like a good week and hyperfixate on it. And I don't know if that is like an ADHD sign or what, but like, if something didn't work out, or even if I was unsure about something, I would hyperfixate over it. And I had to really take a step back and ask myself, what good is this doing me by hyperfixating on it? Why not just allow God to handle it in whatever direction it's supposed to be? Yes, take inspired action. You know, if you feel inspired or called to do something, if it feels intuitively right. But otherwise, let me focus on my life and things that are going to improve my life, and not focus on the what ifs of this man. You've really got to take your power back. And the way you take your power back, again, is by focusing on you, by realizing that you're going to be just fine with or without this man. This man is not the center of your world. Decenter that man. And honestly, if he ghosted you, he's not even worthy of thinking about. Another thing that I started to do, especially in my last relationship, when I would be worried about this or that, anytime I thought about him, I would go do something for myself. And that doesn't mean doing something extravagant for yourself or doing something to numb the pain in an unhealthy way, but it means just putting the attention back onto your life. So instead of thinking about that man, is there laundry to do? Instead of thinking about that man, is there a hobby that you could do? Go to the gym, read a book, play some music, watch your favorite show on Netflix that you've been wanting to catch up on. There's always something more that you could be doing that does not rely on you putting your attention on that person who clearly has shown you that they don't deserve it. And honestly, men, and this isn't to say that you should want that man back, because if he's again going to show you that that is his behavior, is that something you want to deal with? But also, Men love interesting women. Men don't love women who are obsessed with them. At least from my experience and seeing my friends in their healthy relationships, or seeing other people in their healthy relationships. Of course, there are ups and downs in every relationship, but just generally speaking, having a life, showing that man you have a life, that you're not just gonna cancel other plans for him, showing him that you have friends and you have hobbies and you have things going on, is gonna only make you more interesting. It's only gonna make that man want you more, because they see how obsessed you are with yourself. So why shouldn't they be obsessed with you too? Like, we see people out here who are so confident in themselves, who love themselves so much. Their energy is so high. Their energy is so, it just exudes that they have this je ne sais quoi. We as people are obsessed with those people, because why? We can see how much they love themselves. And when people can see how much you love yourself, it's only going to make them love you more. The right people, of course. And again, no contact. Because when you're obsessed with yourself, you're not focused on contacting that man. Don't give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I used to be so bad about this, giving people the benefit of the doubt. But when someone shows you who you are, believe them. He knows where to reach you. He knows where you're at. He's not worried about what you're doing. He's not worried if you fell off the face of the earth. So why should you be worried about him? Let him go. Release it. And most times, 9 times out of 10, by releasing it and you putting the energy back onto yourself, focusing on you, putting that light back on you and taking it off of him, he's gonna wonder, she never hit me up. She wasn't like that other girl who got desperate and decided to text me. Because a lot of times, sometimes men will do this as a test, and that is not a test that you need to pass or fail. That is a test that you need to be indifferent about and decide that you're not someone that plays those little boy games, little girl games. You're better than that. Walk away, believe them and what they say and what they show that they are, and focus back on you. Okay, last but not least, and I know I said the last one is my favorite because I have just been so obsessed with focusing on my life. This one is honestly always my go-to when it comes to any advice, and that is giving it to God and being okay with things passing you by, and knowing that if it passed you by, it was not meant for you. As someone with an anxious or a past anxious attachment style, I had to learn to be really comfortable with letting things go, with letting people walk away, with letting things be, and trusting that something better was gonna come along. And that was not an easy thing to do, especially when you are in survival mode and you're used to being in survival mode and you're used to people leaving you, you're used to this up and down, or being in an emotionally abusive relationship. It's not easy whatsoever, but it is so worth it to keep pushing yourself to have a secure attachment within, because this all starts within. And when you have a secure attachment within, and you have a secure attachment knowing that God, the universe, spirit, source, whatever you call it, wants the best for you, it really helps you to detach from things and the outcome. And another part of self-concept that has really helped when it came to this is, again, knowing that God wants the best for you. Why would God want you to suffer? And I think it can be really hard, especially if you grew up in a traditional Christian household where it's like, why do bad things happen to good people? Or, you know, this like idea of suffering, that everyone has to suffer some way. And that's just really not true. God does not want us to suffer. God wants the best for us. Our spirit team, our ancestors, our guardian angels, again, source, whatever you call it, I call it my spirit team. They want me to thrive, but they want me to believe that I'm worthy of thriving. They can only throw me so many bones if I'm continuing to live in a low vibrational space of not feeling like I'm worthy and I deserve it. So if I change that and I switch that up and I say, actually, no, my spirit team, they're not people that exist on this earth who can change their mind instantly and decide like, actually, no, I don't want that anymore. I don't want to be with her. I don't want to do that. They're not that way at all. They are here to support us, to guide us, to bring us the best life possible. So if I believe that they want the best for me because they are not human, they maybe used to be human, they are literally here and having my back. If I believe that, then I know that they allow that to leave so something better could come into place. And obviously this is another moment where you have to do an ego check, because rejection doesn't feel good. And a lot of times we do the opposite of what we should do when it comes to rejection. And instead of going in the opposite direction, if you grew up with anything less than a secure attachment style, it can make you go in the direction of whatever it is that's rejecting you. And so again, this is where it's important to ego check and check your pride and say, hold on, why do I want to be the victim in the situation or the martyr in the situation? I don't need to save anyone. If this person doesn't want to be saved, or this person doesn't want to be in my life, why am I going to continue pushing myself towards this person? Rejection is always protection, even if it doesn't feel like it. And a good analogy for this is that time that you were in traffic and you were so annoyed, like, why is this traffic going on? Like, it's making me late for such and such appointment or such and such whatever. And then you pass by and you see an accident on the side and you have this realization of, wow, that could have been me. Sorry if y'all hear that noise. Wow, that could have been me. Wow, God was protecting me from a situation that could have happened. And so if you think about that and anything that goes on in your life that you don't get, that you thought that you really wanted, it allows the thing that is better fit for you to come easier and more quickly and more abundantly into your life. There is such beauty in new beginnings, but you can't find that new beginning until you have come to terms with the thing that you didn't get that you thought that you wanted. And resisting change can only and will only make things worse, because resistance only causes more friction, and more friction equals a fire. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but that sounded right, because when you rub two rocks together, it creates friction and that creates a fire. So it sounded right. So we're just gonna go with it. But resistance only creates more resistance. It only makes things harder. So the more you can just like take a breath, take a deep breath and take a step back and tell yourself, all right, F it, the better. So again, the 4 tips that I recommend for dealing with someone who ghosts you, or even dealing with someone who leaves a stupid post-it or breaks up with you in the worst of ways and just disappears from your life, is remembering 4 things. People don't determine your value, you do. So know that you are worthy, know that you are loved, know that you are worthy of being loved the right way, and knowing that the right people will recognize you and see you for who you are. Number 2, getting real with yourself, assessing your need to be loved and being in a lack mindset when it comes to love, asking yourself those hard questions of, do I really like that man? Would I really want to be with that man? Making pros and cons lists, journaling, reaching out to a friend, therapist, etc. Just getting real with yourself about the experience so that you can move on quicker. Number 3, putting the attention back on yourself, obsessing over your own life, focusing on you, going no contact, not contacting that man, not giving him the benefit of the doubt, knowing that you again are worthy and the right people will see you, and being obsessed with yourself until that happens, and then even after that happens. And number 4, trusting in the divine plan, trusting that things that leave you weren't meant to be in your life, that rejection is protection, and the right people will show up at the right time. With that being said, I hope that this episode was super helpful for you, especially as a single girl who is dating and focusing on herself and hoping for the best. We're all in this together, and just because this didn't work out, again, doesn't mean that the right person isn't just around the corner waiting for you. Look at the opportunities, change your perspective, and things will feel so much lighter and so much better. But with that being said, I hope that you guys had a great Halloween. I recorded this on Halloween, obviously, and this episode will be coming out next week. But I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope that this is a great start to your new week and your new November month. And I will catch you guys next week. Bye!